Already, we are recording. Welcome back to the Jumpcast podcast, to our new episode. Nick, what are we on?
We're on episode 12. I think that I don't know if we've specifically been doing this for 3 months, but I'll take a look at it real quick. Okay. Anyways, welcome back.
Back after
it's been a little while.
Hope everyone had a good Christmas.
Or whatever holiday that you celebrate.
Holidays. Enjoy yourself.
Yes, I hope everyone got fun stuff. Maybe some manga that they like collecting or something. I don't know. Why can't
I got you in. Would be 18, right?
What?
I got you JJK 18 because that came out.
Oh yeah, yes you did.
Bro,
it's very nice.
Probably one of my favorite covers now. Honestly,
it is really good. Although it's not specifically my favorite, but it's still really good.
It's one of the choso or Toji ones.
There's only one of Toji, and yes.
All right.
Let me be in peace.
Oh, do we want to talk about first? What we talked about with the Jump Fest. What we got right. I mean, there's only one we really.
Sorry, I was drinking water.
No, you're good. We're getting JJK in July, like that, like.
Yes. I wanted it to be sooner, but we're still getting it.
Bro,
which is all that matters.
I wake up one morning, and I have a text from Nick that, like, it's just a flood of, like, where is it? Let me see. Like, the first one I get is just the one where it's like the you said it's like the tornado, and it's like, here they come, and like the tornado is like Toji sips.
Yeah.
I kept getting sent your stuff. I was so happy when I saw all the art things.
The concept art is so goddamn good. They did such a good job with it. I'm so happy. Yeah, no, there's so many of them that I saved. It's like the being in the room empty and like it's just like the guy that looks super depressed, and then it's just the JPEG of Toji, and they're like, oh my god, Toji, hi. Oh my god. Everything is good now. Everything is great.
Sorry, I got an iPad, and I'm trying to figure it out. It won't connect to the Wi-Fi because I was gonna use it. I used it to read Chainsaw Man this morning. Oh my god, dude, it was so nice. The whole panel, like looking at it. Okay, I'm just hotspotting off my phone. Come on.
Oh my god.
My Wi-Fi decided.
We got a boomer over here.
But
doesn't know how to use technology.
Yeah, but we did not get a trailer for JJK. Sucks.
No, we did not.
Which
we'll get it. I don't know.
We'll get it. I mean, honestly, probably in the next few months. I'm predicting.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe March.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Just in time for my birthday. They like, oh shoot, it's some white boy podcaster from the U.S. Oh, we need to release the trailer for his birthday month.
Yes.
Also, dude, I just want to say, because it's also starting in July, Part 2 of the 1,000-Year Blood War also said they're going to do it. I'm so happy.
Oh, yeah, Core 2 is also in July. That's going to be good. Oh, my gosh,
dude, the last 2 episodes, I told you before, we were just talking before, it's so good, dude. Like, literally one of my favorite moments from the manga of the thank yous on Getsu. But, alright. Like, anything you want to say about Jump Fest?
No, that was the only thing that I was... really
that's the only thing I saw. I was like, oh, My Hero maybe? No. Chainsaw Man?
I thought that they would have I thought that they would have done something with Chainsaw Man, but I don't really care. We got the last episode for this season out today. I still haven't seen it, although I'm sure it's good.
Did it come out today? I saw the one last week.
Yeah, I saw the one last week as well, really but good. I usually just wait till the day after to watch it. But yeah. Oh, yeah. Besides that, I don't know. Jump Fest good.
Jump Fest was
very
really
happy
good.
with it.
Just because we got JJK news.
Exactly. It's my bread and butter.
It's the only thing we want to talk about some weeks.
because it's just so good. which speaking of which, we need to get to other stuff now.
Yeah. Okay.
Should we get
We
to
have,
My Hero?
So I'm just gonna say, because last week we did not talk, so we have 2 chapters of JJK to talk about and 2 of Chainsaw Man, and only 1 of My Hero. Let's get started with My Hero. That cover art it'd be this week was really good.
Oh yeah, dude.
I really
I
love
Horikoshi going with like this medieval aesthetic, like fantasy aesthetic. It's so good. He did it like I think about a year ago as well. Or maybe it was like during like the Dark Deku arc that they had like the full page spread in color and everything. It was so good. So yeah.
Sorry, I was looking for my Apple Pen because I'm too lazy to swipe with my finger. Come on. Bro, I can't even get the Apple Pen to work. Dude, this iPad.
Anyways,
okay, never mind.
The chapter this week, I think, was really confusing.
Really?
I'm gonna be fully honest. This is probably like one of the most confusing chapters I've ever read, just because, what is it? The art's really good, but the paneling has me really confused on what the hell is going on sometimes. And from what I know, it's just that like, there really wasn't much else besides like, all right, the heroes are gonna keep fighting. They lost on their initial bet of like separating everyone, but they're gonna still keep fighting.
Yeah.
And then we got like the picture of like Endeavor. It was like this time around, blah blah blah. It's really good art, but I don't know. I guess what is it? It's Endeavor versus Toya versus Dabi.
Yeah.
At least that's what it looks like.
Which, dude, okay, I'm gonna set my source. Hold on, give me a second to find it. Where is it?
But yeah, this is
Keep talking.
One last other thing. The last 2 other episodes we had, what is it? The other Max on.
Yes.
What is it? It's still up in the air if he'll join on for other ones or not. But right now I think it's just gonna be the 2 of us until like things normalize after like, cause what is it? With all the college stuff going on.
Yeah, because I know his semester starts like a week before mine, so or I think it starts a week before mine, so we'll.
And he's trying to make time to do this, but who knows?
If he doesn't, he'll be our special guest every so often. Like we'll get him.
Get his opinion on stuff.
Yeah. There's Nick. It's on page 7. It's like a little panel of Dabi like burning. It's really detailed. Oh, I just smacked that for like that little section that he's there.
Is that the one where he's like talking? I was hoping to bring you his head.
Yeah, I really like that. And then the ending one of Endeavor, that ending like panel is also pretty gorgeous too. I really like that.
Yeah, the art is good, but I was just really confused with everything.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like ambitions are kind of coming together at really weird times. Like it's just hard for my brain to process everything that is going on.
It feels like Horikoshi had an idea and he wanted to do everyone had their own fights, and it seems like maybe he might be rushing to finish the series, and that's why everyone's getting combined together again.
Yeah, that could be true.
And then maybe this fight will happen, this big fight, and then it'll go back to like Deku and everyone else, maybe? I have no idea.
Yeah, well, we still don't know the aftermath because at least like, what is it? We know that, what's his name? Kurogiri also started teleporting people from there. We just haven't seen who got teleported or not. Which, that's honestly the fight that I'm excited for right now. All of this stuff, to me, is just a lot of big fluff. And I'm not saying that I don't like these characters, I'm just saying that it's not really entertaining.
To like read or
like, yeah.
Okay.
Like, what is it? It's just really, this part of the story is really confusing, and maybe it's going to be better on a reread when you're reading everything all together.
Yeah.
Because that happens sometimes, and that was a big thing that we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also don't know. I don't understand, and I could have just been reading this really quickly and not getting everything. I don't know why they had that little panel of like, what is it? I'm assuming, what is it? Bakugo.
Where?
In the top right on page 11.
11. Top right of page 11. Are you sure?
Yes.
Is it the one that was like, after all, you've already lost to our
Yeah.
number one? I think that's Hawks.
Yeah. Oh, is that Hawks? Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
think that's about. Now that I think about it, now you point out, it
There,
kind of does
there.
look like him too. But yeah, I think that is Hawks.
That's true. I guess it's just the blood on the face I got
Mm-hmm.
confused. That makes a lot more sense now that I'm reading through this.
But I'm excited to see where this like Endeavor and Dobby fight's gonna go, because I think this will be like a really interesting like two like fire people powerhouse fights going hard, or like going, because like, okay, here's my thing. When two fire users, I guess you could say, like clash in like any form of media, it's always good. Like Zuko and Azula at the end of Avatar is such a good fight, and I think this is gonna be one that's like gonna look way better animated anyways.
Yeah. Do you mean, well, what is it? I haven't seen any other depictions of fire versus fire besides that fight, and that fight is really good, but it's also based a lot on its own choreography, so I don't know. Maybe it will be good in this one, but I think that it's going to be a really good, like, coming to terms sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, the action will also still be very good, because I always like when Endeavor fights. But I think that it's going to be a lot better in terms of, like, the
story
psychological
aspect? Yeah, not the fight itself.
And, like, the mental.
Yeah.
Like Endeavor coming to terms with everything again, which also he's kind of come to terms with everything like 3 or 4 times already, that he was just a shitty parent. So yeah, I think that maybe he'll stop Toya, or maybe he'll die. I'll be very surprised if he lives through all of this.
I think he might like barely make it out of this fight and then die.
Yeah, what am I saying? It's my hero.
Yeah, he's gonna die to like, he's barely gonna make it out, and then could die or get like permanently crippled by All for One.
Yeah. Although, what is it? They're both of the opponents. I'm surprised we actually have this much to talk about.
Yeah.
Both of them are like disintegrating, right? Because if what is it?
Dobby is for sure.
And what is it? All for One.
It looks like he
I think
is.
He put himself on the rewind quirk. He put himself on some fentanyl, and I think he's just he's reversing back, which I don't know. Maybe it's also like the perfected version of Ares' quirk.
So it could be like more advanced. But I know it'll be interesting because it looks like Dobby's, I would say, at his limit. Like he's burning to death already. He's already way past his limits. But it also seems like Endeavor's at his limits, or like getting to his limit too.
Well, there was that really cool page of just like heroes that are wounded.
Yeah, because I think it could be like a JJK moment where like he could like learn something more about his abilities once he pushes himself more to the limit or something. But yeah, I think I don't have a whole lot else to say about My Hero. It's confusing, but it's solid this week. That'll be my my description.
The art was really beautiful. Maybe I'm gonna reread it afterwards and have a different opinion, but right now it's like it was good. It's nothing compared to the other stuff that we've had this week. So,
exactly. All right.
Which is a good lead into Chainsaw Man.
All right, I have a little list of stuff to talk about this week. Let's cross out MHA, and I'm gonna move over to. Oh wait, no, I misread on what chapters. We're talking about Nick 14 and 15, not 13. I messed up. Okay.
Yeah, chapter 114, chapter 115.
And 14 was a long one. It was like 25 pages.
Yes, it was a very long one, and then we got in contrast a really short one. with that other one, with 115.
Yeah, we got like the phone bit in the first bit would be 114, or was that in the last one? It was just like, we got that bit.
They both had phones in it.
Yeah,
but like
with,
this one was like the whole thing, like Mitaka can't do anything right at all, and we had the Kobeni clone and everything.
Yeah, well, I think we're getting there with like the guy, the president guy of like, I think they're kind of hinting at like, he's, we already knew he's not Chainsaw Man or like an imposter of or I mean, we thought he was like a clone, but it's like kind of getting there with like, he's just lazy because he just ordered people around this entire section he's been in so far. Like, he hasn't done anything himself.
He kind of helped a little bit. Well, what is it? In the chapter where he came up with the idea that if he like went up one level of the building, that he would find the other, like he would find that it's like an infinite continuing, like either top or bottom as well. So they have like an infinite supply of like water and fish.
True. Well, what I mean is like, he like he went up, but like he didn't. It seems like he hasn't gathered any resource, like anything for survival himself.
After
just like
that, he probably hasn't done much else.
He looks like he's just been sitting around, but yeah. And like with the phone, he's like, you're useless. Yeah, like he's literally just still sitting there, and he's like, you ain't a team player. And then she cries. But
yeah,
artwork
and
again.
Really good. Chapter.
Yeah, it was really good again this week.
Yeah.
Or for this chapter.
And then them having this conversation. It's like, if I were Chainsaw Man,
we'd be out of here. And he's like, I'm just a big Chainsaw Man fan.
Yeah, I got it surgically implanted.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, I got a phone. It's like, now's your cue, Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. And he's like, I think it's gonna be interesting how they're gonna fight the Eternity, or how Jeji is gonna fight the Eternity Devil this time around, because it's like, I think it's definitely like grown that's like, hey, I can't just like show myself to Chainsaw Man. They're gonna have to do something to draw it out, and I think it also could be like, the War Devil and Chainsaw Man actually working together, which could be pretty fun. Like, the War Devil hates Chainsaw Man, but like them having to force themselves to work with each other could be an interesting kind of thing of like, because I think that might be what this is starting to do, of like, hey, the War Devil might have to put aside her like differences with Chainsaw Man. They might have to actually like work together for this arc, or I guess this part 2 of Chainsaw Man maybe.
Yeah.
To deal with like what is it, the Famine Devil, maybe. I think could be the big bad of this one, but we'll have to just keep seeing. What do you think, Nick?
It's good. I mean, like, what is it? People pointed out the repetition of like, the story like of like the Eternity Devil arc, and I don't know. This chapter was good, but it was also really weird, and it had a lot of different bits that were kind of. Maybe I'm just not being a good reader this past week. Like, it's not necessarily that it was confusing, but I wanted it to just be one seamless thing that all worked together. Like, I feel like the stuff that Yoshida was saying was kind of useless. And then, like, it sparked its own speculation. Like the line that he said, like, do you think Chainsaw Man would eat it for us, the Death Devil?
Yeah.
And that then, like, what is it? I saw somebody say, like, Puchita's the Death Devil. I was like, are you kidding me?
No.
Why are you throwing out such a big accusation? That's really weird. And I personally really didn't like that, like, Mitaka was, like, willing to actually explain everything. And then, like, it's just like, what are you muttering to yourself about? It's like, she was too quiet. Like, it's really good comedic stuff.
Yeah, it's totally like Fujimoto's, like, comedic motif. I get, not motif maybe, but like his kind of like thing, but I felt like she should have just said everything, and he should have been able to hear it right then or something.
Yeah, even if Denji was like, I don't give a shit. I don't know what the hell you're talking
He's like,
about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Starfish."
Whatever. Like, here, you want to eat a starfish?
And then people like pointed out that it's the same as like the ta-da with the flower
Yeah.
with Reze, which I like. I don't know what Denji's plan is. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe next chapter we'll get a more of a conclusion.
Well, cause like my thing is like you said people are mad about or not mad, but like just comparing like the ta-da ever tried a starfish bit. I'm kind of thinking like along the lines of like, you know, it was literally like when it's literally how Max described it like a few weeks ago when he's like, oh, it's like a child experiencing everything. He's like he like has no social skills. Like how like he has no idea when like someone's having like a panic attack or like a mental breakdown like this, how to react. So he's like,
that's true.
This could be like his go-to of like trying to be like making the best out of it, because that's his kind of thing he's done. He's like trying to make the best out of a bad situation. So I feel like that's kind of what he's trying to do right here. But I don't know. That could just be me. I don't know.
That's true. I'm just looking at these panels of Denji, and I love how much detail goes into him. Like, I'm rereading the part where he's explaining how he was able to kill the Eternity Devil.
Yeah, because there's still like not the shadow, but there's still like the outline of the fish tank behind him and the other dude and stuff.
But what is it? I think that's true. Like it's like a baby experiencing everything, or like a child.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like Denji's a little bit more sensible than that. Cause like, what is it? I feel like that's underplaying how smart Denji is as a person. Cause like the best example is that like in chapter 1, like somebody's like, I'll give you, what is it, like 100 yen if you eat the cigarette. And it's like, oh yeah, totally.
And then he like fakes eats it, but
yeah. Like he can fake things. He can lie. He has like social skills. But I think that you're right. I think that that's just how he thought that was the best way to cope with the situation.
Yeah.
So yeah. Besides that, I don't know what's gonna continue on from this chapter. Like, at least I can't even say that. Like, we all expected like the Eternity Devil would do something by now. Or at least that's what I did, because that's what he did in part 1. Is that it's like, all right, everybody started acting insane, and then somebody heard the Eternity Devil be like, "Feed me the Chainsaw Man's heart."
Yeah.
I thought that was gonna be something like that this time, but Denji just pointed out that like, hey, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
The Eternity Devil is nowhere in
Well,
sight.
it could be like, you know, the Eternity Devil learning from its mistakes and be like, well, maybe I gotta give him longer, and then they'll all actually come together and kill Denji or whatever together. Yeah.
Although, what is it? It's once it reincarnates, I think that it has a completely different mind.
Oh,
so maybe it even may take the same story bits, or like maybe it'll be even something stupid, like Mitaka's gonna take a bite of the starfish, and then the starfish is gonna start speaking like, "You bastards, you figured me out." And I was like, "What?"
It was the starfish the whole time.
Yeah. Like, nobody wants to eat starfish. Only a dumbass like you would do that and just make Mitaka feel even worse about herself.
And then that could be what kind of brings her out more. Is like,
yeah.
I think honestly something like that would be good to kind of like push her over the edge to like fight more, not just like rely on the War Devil to do it for her.
Yeah. And I think that, what is it? The whole thing is that maybe it will be like the stupid elaborate story things of just like, you need to turn him into a weapon, but it's just like not the way that you think. Like, you're not gonna. I think that, what is it? Crap, what's the name of the devil? The one with the earrings?
The famine.
Crap. The famine one.
But she would like some, yeah.
Fami's idea, I think, is that she's trying to teach Mitaka how to be friends with Denji, with that whole sort of like the weird symbolism of like you need to turn him into a weapon. It's
but like a
not
weapon, like not like a physical weapon, but like
yeah,
something
like an
added to your
emotional
arsenal
weapon.
you can call. Yeah, like something you can call on for help.
Exactly, like someone's being a dick to her, then Denji will step in.
Yeah.
Like that whole like you have a friend that protects you from a bully, like that all that sort of stuff.
But doesn't try and kill the entire school.
Exactly. Yeah, does not try to use their own moral beliefs as a justification for murder. So yeah. Besides that, good chapter. We don't know what the hell's gonna happen next one. We already know that.
Yeah,
it's Fujimoto.
He could just, you know, kill off the entire story right now, and that could be the end of it.
I don't know what that was.
I'm still figuring out how to use my iPad. I got an iPad over Christmas, and I just took a photo by accident because I scrolled the wrong way. I took a random photo of the Shonen Jump lineup, basically.
Oh, epic.
Yeah.
Do
you want to? I mean, because I'm starting to think we're. I hate just saying it. Like, you want to transition? You want to transition?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, let's definitely just go over it. Because what is it? We always end off Chainsaw Man with just like, all right, we don't know what's gonna happen next. I'm excited to see it. We get it in a week. We don't have to wait 2 weeks.
It'll
compared
be nice
to JJK.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see what we get, but we have no idea saying what could be next. And I think we could also technically say the same for our final series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, wait. Let's get into it with 107.
107, the beginning. We start off with Yuki, Tengen, and Choso under like the Katsu. I don't even know. The table with the blanket that heats people up in the winter in Japan.
Yeah, in that one room when Kenjaku, like, what is it? Chapter
207.
202?
Dude, look at, okay, so on page 1, middle panel of Yuki talking, just off on the left, there's just a low quality picture of Choso, like, confused.
I love that.
It's so funny.
Oh no, well that's him hearing out the domain idea. So that's why he's like, oh, I see what you're talking about, and then he added something to it, which I find is really fun. I really like that we're all planning it together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like it. I like their whole conversation.
Like, it shows they
not
seriously.
So much now with what I know from 208.
But it's like they put a ton of effort into this, which is really good.
Yeah, they put. I forgot when Kenjaku initially entered the domain. I think it's 5 days after. It's either 5 days or a week after.
Which explains like the different setting for each kind of like.
Yeah.
Past talk they have.
They took more than a day to figure out all this sort of stuff and think
it
of
seems like
what they could
from
do.
right when Yuji and the crew left, they were immediately right after Choso stopped crying about Yuji leaving. Like, boom, right then and there, they're like, okay, how are we gonna deal with this guy? Which I kind of like, because then it's like, you know, like for me, it's like, okay, it's also proving that Yuki's a special grade, that she's immediately down to business. She's like, okay, how are we gonna beat this dude? Like, how are we gonna?
I honestly think that this idea came a day afterwards, because I think that, what is it? Yuki and Tengen talked alone about dismantling the barrier, and then they talked to Choso afterwards. They definitely at least had a meeting of like, all right, how are we gonna win this? Which I really like, and I really like that they didn't stop having Choso in the plan after that initial one.
Yeah, they're like, well, let's make him think he's done, and then he can kind of come and like.
Yeah, let's
Yuki up.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the art again. I love we got the front perspective of Choso coming in, and then the back perspective.
Yeah, I love there's like the one of just Kenjaku's eye, and he's just like his eyes wide. He's like, oh shit, and like, and then you got like
I'm being dragged down.
I love like how Yuki looks right now, like all mangled, and like she looks manic, and I love how it looks.
Yeah. And then what is it? We had the weird ass line, time to commit patricide or patricide.
Yeah. Bro, I love that
funny.
Choso just point blanks him with a piercing blood, dude.
I know. I'm surprised that he did that initially, but you know what? It was still really good. I also want to point out this is like a fan translations thing. I I still like this one more than the fan translation, although the fan translation had a really funny idea for this line, which is like time to kill daddy.
Oh, that would have, yeah.
um so yeah, and then of course Kenjaku is built different. Spun his fucking
No
body
problem,
around.
dude. He's just like, bro, I love that panel of him just like running at Yuki and re-sewing himself and then immediately getting kicked by her.
Yeah, I really like that. And I like the explanations. I always love like the narrators explaining stuff like he slipped the punch like in boxing,
Yeah.
except it's with blood being shot at the speed of sound.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I love the
and then
butt.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this chapter as well because it gives me what is it, Yuji and Toto vibes.
Really, you're getting
It's
yeah
like
of like ganking.
gain up on him.
Yeah, fight back.
Fight back.
Dude, I love the one of like, oh sorry, I just smacked my desk. Yuki coming in with Gouda and just like smacking the ground and just everything like breaks below her.
Oh yeah.
And then it just goes. Yeah.
I love not giving him a break. I love them actually hitting him and like also Choso getting some hits on him.
Yeah.
Like Garuda making him sink down and then like Yuki's kicking him and then like elbowing him. It's such good fight choreography.
Because it's like, yeah, like he is probably like a grade 1 semi, maybe supreme, whatever, but like he can still keep up.
Yeah.
Because it's like
That's also a good
yeah.
thing right now.
Before this chapter, I was kind of like having like the idea like, okay, well, like a grade 1 sorcerer can't keep up with a special grade, or like a grade 2 can't keep up with a grade 1, like that kind of idea. But I'm like, this is proving they can, but it's like they're severely outclassed. Like it's.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what is it? I think that's a good way to explain it, especially with Choso. Like Choso is supreme grade 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can keep up with a special grade, but not really at the same time.
He can keep up,
Like
but if he was by himself, he would still be getting destroyed.
But the other thing is that Kenjaku is again built different, and he has 2 different curse techniques.
That we know of.
Yeah, yes, which also goes on to the other chapter that we'll have to talk about. But let's finish this one.
No, so yeah.
Because like with Choso was thinking, he was real big braining it with like with Wing King and everything to land a hit on
land a hit, make him use
Kenjaku.
something other than curse spirit manipulation. Yeah. I love the panel like right after I think like Gouda gets thrown. It's like Gouda's like knocked onto the ground when it like the gravity's been replenished, and it's just Choso getting smacked on the ground. He's like, damn it, and then it's just this panel of Kenjaku like X like, whew, like let me get a breather really quick.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back a page. Onto page 11. I love when the ground's broken and everything, and just. It's because I love Choso, that middle panel on the right of Choso
like busting through,
like emerging from the debris.
Oh my gosh, dude! Like these fights have been so
all
good.
The gravity. Yeah. I love the poses that Gege puts Kenjaku in.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Kenjaku like activates the gravity. He's just standing there, just like, just chilling, like. Because before he looked like he was ready to fight, and then it's like, I'm just gonna stand there. I can do it.
Yeah, like give me a second. Yeah. I'm old. I need a second.
Yeah.
And then I love like the little curse spirit that comes on. It's like he crushes everything, and then it's like the elephant. It like immediately gets decked again.
I like the explanations behind everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love Yuki's analysis.
It's even proving more that she's a special grade. Like, and next chapter will explain that more. But like this is like that's something also like I think that needs to be taken into account. For, like not like actually, but like something like throughout reading I've realized is like, in my opinion, like a headcanon, like one of that checklist things we've talked about for being a special grade is like being that analytic in a fight. Yuta's like that, like Gojo, like instantly figuring out what's going on, like what, like during the Goodwill of arc when like Gojo's instantly like, okay, well I can't go through the dome, I can't go through this barrier.
Yeah, it's the fact that they know how to be a tactician at the same time.
Let me rephrase or add on to that with that analytic adaptability.
Yes, that's also another thing. Like, what is it? They know how to game their opponents. Like a good example is Gojo like destroying Hanami.
Oh yeah, destroying all the disasters.
Because like he turns off the technique and he gives Hanami like this breathing room for a second. It's like, no, you're on. Pulls his eyes out and blows him up.
Who's next?
Exactly. It's that sort of smart thinking, which also Choso kind of has, but he's
just outclassed.
This will also go into the next chapter afterwards. But what is it? I'm gonna talk about another panel that I really like. I really like panel 14 in the middle one, with Yuki grabbing.
Oh, using like Gouda like a whip. I like how it looks like Gouda connects onto the panel below that and kind of like it's one like, because that's something like I will say about like just like manga paneling compared to like Western comics is. Manga, in my opinion, is a lot better at flowing than American comics, and that's in my opinion, a really good example of it. That looks like, and like even like onto the page after, it looks like Gouda continues on.
Yeah.
Like that is such a good panel. It's so good.
It's really good. All of this fight is really good. And the other thing with just like playing it up, like with like Yuki says like I'm gonna win, and then like she keeps on decking him, and then like the mini Uzumakis come out. It's like Kenjaku made her feel safe for a second, then to just mess with her.
I love
like, too many Uzumakis.
I love the panel of her just like she's got her arms out on an X like blocking it, and she's just like. Like, what the fuck just happened? Even though she knows, she's like, what?
Yeah. And I really like all of that, and it's just such a good calculated fight. And it ends in such a great way.
And sorry Nick, we get to add another character to our donut bingo card.
Has there been anyone else that's
I'm talking like over in like
this?
manga and anime in general, like like where you got Kakuin, and then you got Rengoku and that one dude from One Piece, and then you can kind of like, I don't know about you, I'm getting pretty close to a bingo, especially with that free space because of Yuki on my card.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But I love like the realization when she gets donut, she's like, oh, uh-oh.
Yeah. I just like the hole blown through her, like on the panel above when it's like a bird's eye view of what the fight is like. So yeah, and I remember because before this week's chapter came out, I remember thinking about the podcast as well, and I thought initially that just Yuki is dead. I don't think that there was gonna be any way for her to come back from this. Because like, it was explained in a different way in the next chapter, but like, the thing is that we know that your cursed energy resides in your stomach. Yeah. And you, and like, at least in a rough sense, you pull from that cursed energy from your stomach. So like, getting rid of that kind of gets rid of everything. Unless you're built different like Hikari and just domain it afterwards.
Exactly. Because that's something also goes back to like the analytic side of like being a special grade is like Kenjaku targeted that. I thought he just at first, until you mentioned it, just hit his stomach because it was convenient. No, he like directly targeted it to kind of like make a bigger dent in her cursed energy supply.
Exactly. Well, like you either go for either of those two options. Like I think even Kashimo during the fight with Hikari is like, all right, I either aim for his brain or I aim for his stomach. I gotta pick one of those
Yeah,
things.
but they don't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
I do like that because this is, I mean, this is like the first special grade sorcerer on special grade sorcerer fight we've seen, and it's like I really do like that. Like we've seen like Yuki got, like you can see like when she gets donated. I know that is like from the tiny Uzumaki, but like
Yeah.
like her just like how much damage she's taken this fight, like, and I mean if you're going to like power scaling, like she's durable. Like, yeah, she's using reverse curse technique, but
well,
like...
she took one Uzumaki to the face.
And it looks like she just got burnt a bunch. And then now she takes another one to the stomach, and, like, at first when I read, I thought she was dead, but, like, after next chapter, she somewhat survived. But, like, her durability is insane in that case. If she can take an Uzumaki... I mean, it is a mini, so it's probably not as effective as, like, a big one, but, like, still, that's insane.
Yeah, and at least how it was drawn in that panel, it looks like she just got shredded by like a laser beam or something.
Yeah. Something I also like
and then
is
she still took it.
Sorry, are you don't?
No, you're all good.
Okay, so on page 17, when there's the panel of Kenjaku like holding her arm and the mini Uzumaki above his hand, I like that. Like now, I mean, I didn't think it till I saw that part, but like Kenjaku doesn't have to like push out his palm or his finger to activate an Uzumaki. It could any arm position or hand sign form position, he can be in any inactivated Uzumaki.
Yeah,
which is insane because then because then he just. I think he'll use it more that way and just get close and then just people like that.
Oh yeah.
But no, but it's like it's insane.
Anyways, I think this is probably when we should actually go to the next chapter for
That's what I was about to say. Okay.
It was really good. This has been one of my favorite chapters.
This is a really solid chapter.
Yeah.
And then we get like the little bit of like kind of like a recap of the last one. And then she's like, he wasn't biding time for gravity. He was trying to distract me.
Yeah. Like, and then she says like he leaves me no time to regenerate.
Yeah. Because it looks like he's about to go for another one again. Or is that I don't know if that's gravity. I think that's gravity, but he's like immediately following up.
Oh no, I think that was the position of his hands.
Oh.
Just when he did the like, it's just a recap of what happened, because it's also still Choso yelling like Tsukumo.
Yeah.
And then we have like this whole we have another like flashback.
Choso's like, what am I?
Yeah. Well, it's such a good. I wanted this chapter so much. Because it points out that Choso is also smart and he understands what's going on in the world. Like, he understands that he was a bad person. He's like, I killed innocent people, and for what? Like, my brothers are dead all the same, and I just learned that there was another one that was suffering just as much as I thought he would.
Also, I love...
And I couldn't help him at all until now.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say I love Tengen as the bartender, just kind of like.
I know, I love that too.
Like
him shaking the drinks and everything.
He's like probably he's like understanding. Be like, what did this guy just say?
Yeah.
What did he say? Like,
well, he's probably like, yeah, you did do that. You did do that.
It's okay.
Like Tengen is very much like an overseer. He sees everything that happens. Yeah. Like, yep, you killed those guys. You killed them.
And then he's like crying. He's like
yeah. He's like, why did I choose to eat? It's so good. This is like such a good thing. I wanted to see this so badly.
I love that panel of all of the four brothers fighting together, like in that little pose.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah. And then there's the one of like Yuji standing alone. He's like, but I took it easy and left Yuji all alone. But like my thing with that is like he didn't realize Yuji's his brother probably at that point. So I'm like,
yeah,
he's probably beating himself
like he
up
still feels
but
bad for it.
No, like you should. I mean, like I think he should, but it's like come on, dude. Like, I could give you a little bit of leeway there. You didn't know he was around.
That's true.
Well,
Well,
you knew of him. You didn't know you were, quotation marks, related to him.
Yeah. Well, just like, still, the biggest thing is that, like, he made one of his brothers kill the other ones, and like, he could have just immediately tried to make them run to Jujutsu High as some form of sanctuary, or as some way to like protect themselves.
Yeah.
But then he didn't, and now he got them stuck in that situation, and he feels bad, like he did a disservice to them.
That is true, yeah.
So yeah, and then we go back to the present.
I love it's like if you die now, he'll be alone again, and it's like, you're too kind. Like,
yeah. It's so nice that she's telling him, like, listen, bro, you need to think a little bit different about this.
Yeah, I think it's like he's throwing the slicing exorcism, and he's like, Noritoshi Kamo! And then he gets taken out of the fight immediately.
Which I am so happy for. This was the like, okay, Choso's gonna die this arc, right? And the expectations got flipped around. He was the only person that survived.
Yeah.
This onslaught.
Well, maybe. We'll see.
What do you mean?
Maybe Kenjaku just wants.
What?
I'm okay. I'm joking. I'm like, he's out of the fight. Kenjaku doesn't care about him. But I'm like, I was joking, like, you know, maybe he'll want to go tie up some loose ends, go finish him off while he's down on the ground. Kick him while he's down. Kind of.
That's true.
But I love that line. Like, this is where you die as a curse.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you must live this time as a human. Cold.
It's so good.
So good. Like, Gege, like, with his art style, like, I love his rough line art style because he's able to put so much detail into, like, a character in them. That's why I like his action paneling, because he's so good with his art style about putting, like roughness into it. Like, Yuki's face there. Like, you can kind of see, like, each strand of her hair and, like, the blood on her mouth and just, like, stuff like that. But, like, it's all so good.
It's really good, and I really like that. And maybe this will get covered on the next, in the next chapter with like maybe one more flashback. But the like, I'm wondering if Yuki made an arrangement with Tengen that like if a situation were to come to this, like get Choso out. Because like I don't know why out of all times Tengen would abide to that now. Either that or besides the fact that like with this chapter maybe he wanted Choso out of the barrier because he just wanted to assimilate with
like the point he's like kind of giving up. He's like, okay.
Yeah. This guy ain't gonna do crap, my man.
But then the next panel of Kenjaku, just like that one of like him when he activates gravity. Oh, it looks so good.
It is really good, and I like that the the paneling for the sound effect of like Yuki getting split in half, like
the swish. Yeah. There's a little bit of blood.
Yeah, a little bit of blood, and then she's just left there.
I love that he doesn't even look at Tengen at first. He's like, but what can you do now, Tengen? And then he just gives a little smirk, like a little laugh.
Yeah. Which is so interesting because I think, what is it? Now that I'm reading this, I think that this is like Tengen's looking at Kenjaku like how like when Tengen was probably like first alive, like Sukuna looked at Tengen is like, how can I use this guy?
Yeah. Well, like I like the thing of like, you know, with like it looks like a humanoid Sukuna, and then like half of his face looks like it's changing, because it's like I think because Tengen, they said Tengen used to be a human looking, right? But now that the star plasma vessel didn't assimilate with him, he's becoming more curse like. That's why he looks like this now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking maybe like that could be like something with cursed energy. It's like if you live too long, you kind of start to become more curse-like, and that's maybe kind of what happened with Sukuna or something. I don't know. Kind of just spitballing.
True. That's a good way to think about it.
I'm just like looking at them, like trying to connect the dots.
That's true. Well, I think that it's also just, I don't know, the design of Sukuna will probably just change a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like this sort of design where it's just like half of his face is just
Looks like tree bark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it before with
see.
Kashima when they're in the, like at the beginning when we first saw Kashima, but like, or no, at the end of the Sendai colony fight, we saw that one of like the full, basically like a full body photo too.
Yeah.
But excited to see where that goes.
Anyways, I just want to talk about the black hole.
Yeah.
And how good it is. How cool it is of it. I love the art and I love everything that got done for it. It's so cool. It's such a good way to end the fight.
Well, I love that it's like, I just need to distract you, and he looks down and he like, just die. Like, I'm imagining like he just he's like, like a side just die already as a human, and then it's the next pedal. Like,
just
I love the noise, like little sound effects. Like what?
Yeah, I know. It's just like, oh wait, she turned herself into a black hole.
I like how he's like trying to do something. He's like, no, impossible. A black hole.
I love how like it puts Kenjaku on the defensive for once. He's just like, oh my god, no, I actually messed up. I did not calculate for this.
Like he's like, you wield gravity, so you should have seen this coming, right? Oh my god. And then the panel of the black hole just like consuming, literally looks like half of like Jujutsu High is gone now.
Yeah.
Probably killing like 50 random people.
Almost all of it is gone.
Yeah.
I hope that Choso got taken to a very comfy place that is away from here.
Well, like you get like in the panel of like where there's like the crater, Nick, and like the black hole forming, there's like the little like offshoots in the crater. Imagine just like Choso's like at the very edge of one of those, just like
there,
barely avoiding. He's just watching like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just what the hell? What the?
Yeah, and then that. And going on afterwards, like the kind of like crater looking thing of like the hole, that is gorgeous. Like of like the rope, that little bit of the rope in the tree.
Yeah.
Oh my, dude, he put his whole Ardusi into that panel, dude. It looks so good.
That's true. It reminds me a lot of Berserk.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Berserk, like almost like the quality of like a lot of like the big three seinen series is what I was getting off of it.
Yeah.
And then just Kenjaku like, bam.
Yeah, he's just like, I made it out.
Yeah.
And then the explanation afterwards, I still kind of need to like. I probably need to reread the entire series just to understand what he was just trying to say with the anti-gravity system.
Mm-hmm. Because that's something we talked about a little bit before, but
yeah,
you want to go into that?
Well, what is it? This is such a big reveal, and it's so terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
The thought of just like, oh yeah, so Kenjaku can still use different techniques from his past inhabitants.
Yeah, because like, it seems like, you know, like the Sukuna level. Like, Sukuna has cleave and dismantle, but he also had, like, the fire stuff. Like, Kenjaku just has an arsenal. Like, you know, eventually, maybe is he gonna bust out blood manipulation or something? Like, what is he gonna use next?
Well, like, we talked about, like, the chance of just, like, Yuki actually almost beating him, and then he finds a way to take over her body.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking like, oh, that wouldn't work for the plot because then he wouldn't have curse manipulation. It's like, oh wait, nope. You would still have that anyways. It's so weird. It's so crazy.
Like combining his gravity and math, and like if he did take over Yuki, which I think her body's just gone. I don't think he's gonna be able to take over.
Oh yeah,
her body.
Yuki is gone. There's nothing left of her.
But like, if he did, like, imagine combining gravity and mass together. Like, that would be insane.
Yeah, that'd be really crazy. But yeah, this stuff is. Hey, I'm speechless right now. I'm just rereading all of it again right now. The explanation was just like through laps. I made it so that I could turn myself into an anti-gravity machine, and I somehow survived.
Yeah. Well, like that they revealed that like his like Yuji's mom had like a latent latent technique. Because then I'm like, well, maybe is that not like an inherited technique, but it's like Yuji's like technique, like actually something similar to that could.
That's true. It could be something like that.
I'm just waiting for him to use cleave and dismantle. Like.
Oh yeah, if he ever gets that, or if he ever wants to use it, because he's gonna be like, I don't want to hurt people anymore.
Well, okay, let's finish up. I mean, we're almost done, but like finish up the chapter. And I have a thought on that. But
oh, yeah.
I love that panel of him just going like, "Well, that was a fun warm up." Like, it's such a Kajaku thing to say. Just like, all right, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
And then like Tengen I kind of like that like Tengen like manifested himself, and then like his real body is just like kind of the true like inside the tree.
Inside the tree, yeah.
It kind of gives off like. Oh, sorry.
No, you're all good.
It gives off.
You can finish it.
Like Elden Ring vibes of like well, they're all start with M's. Mikola, I think, and the Halig tree. If you remember that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it kind of read like. Honestly, think about it now, that kind of reminds me of like Yuki's Melania.
That's a good connection as well. My few things from this is that I don't like this like. I don't like that Tengen that he actually was like using Yuki and Choso for his own protection. Like the whole like you have atoned for your own existence, for your own tedious existence.
Yeah.
It's so annoying because it's just like you set these people up to die. And I guess that's kind of the nature. Like that's what like Yuki was saying before. Like you just let teenagers die just so that you could turn into this freaky ass thumb looking dude.
Yeah.
Like you need to care more about people, and then it's like this exact same stuff. And like maybe it was also that like Tengen and Kenjaku were friends.
Well, because he's like goodbye friend, yeah. And then they had like some sort of falling out, 1,000 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get like a flashback, maybe a little bit of that.
I'm sure that will be covered as
eventually.
Well. Like Gege is setting up way too much plot for this not to be explored later.
Exactly. We still gotta like go back to the other crew. Maybe we'll spend another year with like this arc, and then we'll see Yuji again.
Yeah.
We saw him in one chapter, and then we won't see him again for another year.
I think we'll see him next chapter.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, do we want to go on to what you wanted to say?
Yes. Okay. So, hear me out. When I said about Yuji using cleave and dismantle. Okay. So, we cut back to some time of the crew fighting, and Yuji's gonna need a moment of like, okay, like these military guys are an issue. Like I need to like get over my fear of killing people. Like I need to just do it. And I think it'd be really cool if like in some of that sense, like he tries to go for a punch or like a chop or something, and just uses cleave or dismantle. Just like you know like the one Sukuna, I think it was during Shibuya. He turned Maharaga, if I remember correctly, into just cubes. I think it was that fight. Or it was like one of the finger bearers, I don't remember. But just does that.
It was the finger bearers, yeah.
Yeah, he just does that to an army soldier, like a squad in front of him. He's like, ah. What? Like,
what is it?
or not? I mean,
I like that idea of like freaking out about it. Just the thing is that like, well, first off, I don't think that he would like cut him into bits. I honestly think that if he were to use like cleave or dismantle, he would literally like accidentally just like he'd throw out a chop, it misses, but then you just see like boom, like gone.
Well,
Like the guy just turned into blood and guts.
yeah. So, no, but hear me out. Caveat to what I said. Sukuna was like, he's always watching, but at that moment, he gave Yuji the ability to use his technique. Just didn't even tell him, and just did it. So he's like, haha, you have to kill people now. Have fun with my technique. Like, that kind of thing.
That, I don't really think I could see.
Okay.
I personally think that, like, what is it? Like, with how Gojo explained, it's just that, like, his curse technique will engrave into his body. So I think that will come out on accident, or it will come out in like a moment of like Yuji really needs to do something.
Well,
really
that's what I mean, like a
wants to do
moment of
something.
like he realizes like he has to kill, and then he goes for like a hit, and like you said, like misses, and then cleave or dismantle, like
Yeah.
cut someone in half.
His admittance to like killing, I don't think is gonna come anytime soon. Just because I think that Higuruma also helped enforce that like killing people feels horrible. So I don't think it will come from that. Maybe it will also be like a curse or something. That like he gets to try it out on.
Well, because my thing was saying like maybe during this cooling games would be in my opinion, kind of like the perfect, not the perfect, but a good moment to do it is because there's all this fodder from all these soldiers coming in. Kind of thing, like just he has a bunch of guinea pigs to test on, kind of deal. Like he'll use an accent and be like, okay, like maybe I need to use it like here, like not like he's just gonna constantly use cleave and dismantle. He's gonna use it sparingly, I hope, and like this will be like his moment to kind of just go ham with it for a bit, and then be like, okay, I'm done for a while. I don't want to use it anymore. I'm only gonna use it on curses now.
That's true, but I don't know. At least to me, I still don't. I don't know. I just can't see that happening with how the story has gone so far. Well, like, what is it? This goes into like what we think is gonna happen after this. Like, I'm labeling this this is either the end of like the big culling game arc, or this is the midway point of the culling game. Right after this, I think that it's just gonna go straight to like Megami, Yuji, and everyone having to fight U.S. soldiers, and then hopefully, what I think is gonna happen is that like that one like the army general is going to I think that there's gonna be some way to give him a curse technique or something. And him and the army are gonna have a big fight between Yuji and Megami.
Yeah. Well, and like I'm also hoping if like the general gets a technique, I'm hoping it goes back to like the roots of like with Higuruma's like domain. It's like they don't have to be a sure hit. They can be like a space to talk or something like that. But like not like a domain, but like his technique isn't used offensive. Like he can't directly use it offensively. It's more like he can power up his soldiers, like just buff them or something.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's going to be really creative. I think that it will be like an army man sort of thing. Like, I don't know, like the commander technique or something.
Or like maybe something like not like like a technique you can use to fight people. Maybe it's like he can like telepathically communicate with people, or send out like a big message or something like that, kind of like
I think it's gonna be something like that.
Yeah, something like that doesn't have to be used in a fight. But we'll just have to keep seeing.
I think it's room to put in a very comedic curse technique, because he's like set up as like the big like I'm the army general.
And then he doesn't have something like something I just could put in the military, like something that's not like what you could use to how do I phrase it? Like one that does not directly cause. Oh my god! Here, you keep talking. I'm sorry.
I think that it's gonna be something really comedic and ridiculous that ties to like the U.S. Army or something. It's like, oh, my right arm turns into and turns into like an M14 or something.
Yeah,
Like
no, yeah.
like my hands are guns. Something ridiculous like that. Either that or I think it will be something like maybe even telepathy wise, because they're trying to capture these people. They're not trying to kill. They're trying to
Exactly.
subdue. So it could be something relating to that.
I don't know. There's so much. Like, we got that Fujimoto treatment. We can't predict what's gonna happen next. Cause like, also like the ending of this chapter was such just a bombshell drop. Like, where like, cause I'm like when I first read it, I'm like, on Sunday, I'm like, where do we go from here? Like,
Oh yeah.
like
It's like we lost, boys. This is like the big end.
this is like, in my opinion, this is like literally the equivalent of like Thanos snap, like a Thanos snap. Honestly.
Yeah, I can see that. Something very much like that. Like this is like the full tables have turned. There was nothing else that could have been done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, we can only see the perspective of the military going forward.
Well, cause
Like
I
I
mean,
don't know what else could happen besides like maybe just like they are in the middle of a fight and then like oh my god, all the civilians are now turning into cursed spirits. What's going on?
I think a good segue. Here, you keep talking.
Yeah.
Think about it for a
Yeah.
second.
I'm gonna talk about another subject just for a second. So, uh, the special grade tier list keeps changing, like every time after these past couple
I
chapters
hate to
because
say
it
it.
was two special
I'm
grades
putting
fighting.
Kenjaku above you. Too.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
he's
I hate
definitely
this.
above that. And I am going to put, what is it? I think that Yuki is still in. So what is it? We're excluding Gojo and Sukuna. I
Of
think that
course.
it goes in the order of Kenjaku, Yuta, Yuki, and then Geto.
Ghetto, like just regular ghetto. Okay.
Yeah, because well, what is it? I would because my thing with it is that I'm very questionable about where to place Yuta and Yuki because I'm trying to think of ways that Yuta can ignore a black hole
Mm-hmm.
while having readily available copy techniques. And the only thing that I can think of is he has Uro's technique of like manipulating the sky. So the best thing that I can think is like wrapping himself in the sky because like it's really weird to like explain that because there's two different like the grabbing the sky and everything or like grabbing the air and being able to pull it is a really weird technique to like explain on how he can use it. Like I don't know what science goes into it, but I'm thinking that like maybe that was like that's a way that he could avoid like a self-destructing black hole. Because like besides that, like Yuki would like win via a draw via her suicide.
Yeah. Well, it's also seems like the black hole thing is like, yeah, it ends up being a draw because they both die.
Yeah.
Like,
And there's also like what is it? The thing is that also like Yuki has to have bloodlust. Like Yuki did this in this situation because like she knew that there were not going to be any consequences. Like she was betting on Tengen's barrier to subdue the black hole.
mm-hmm.
Is like what I think, and like even Kenjaku was saying about like her will also suppressed it. Because like besides that, in like a regular situation, I don't think that she would black hole unless she was likely to die. But I don't know how likely she would be able to die to Yuta in that situation either, because like both of them are just kind of strong people. Yuki's definitely stronger than Yuta. But Yuta also has like that tactician sort of mind. Like he's labeled the next Satoru Gojo, and I'm gonna believe that by like how he can be bloodlusted and how he can have Rika and everything. And maybe it would even go down to a domain expansion, but we also don't know Yuki's domain expansion, and we never will.
Exactly.
So, So yeah. And we also, I hate this because Gege is setting up so much backstory that needs to be filled in and figured out, like why, like we still never figured out why Yuki never became Tengen's vessel. Like, what if Rico had the same curse technique or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, why did they pick Rico over Yuki? Because Yuki's definitely older than her. They would have found her first. Like, all right, we're gonna pick that. It's a lot of different things.
Exactly. Okay, quickly before I forget, can I say my thought?
Go for it.
Okay, next chapter we open up with the army general. Kind of just like him, just like overseeing the battlefield or like the collection, and everything's going smooth. But then he has someone come tell him like, "Hey, like something big happened," and then it's like, I don't know how many are in the group, like 4 or 5, I think 4 people with like Yuji and those guys. 4 people are like, causing issues like in this colony, like and he's like, what, 4 people, only 4? And then like somehow there's like a surveillance feed of the 4 of them running, and then we cut to the group. I don't know, that's my prediction.
That's a good choice. I would also like to see the everyone regroup. Like, I want to see Hikari and everyone. I want them to establish the rule that you can go in between barriers so that, like, everyone can kind of regroup and then be like, okay, guys, so we got fucked. Who are we going to be leading on the charge for this? And I think that is going to lead to, like, Megami trying to make a plan, because Megami is definitely the best strategist. Out of everyone. Like, everyone's good fighters. But, like, Megami, I think because what is it? Before this chapter, before everything, it was set up to be a battle between Yuki and Kenjaku, like back at the end of Shibuya.
Yeah.
Like, it was them facing each other, and then like it was with their ideals of like either optimizing curse energy or separating away from it. And now that separating away is kind of just gone, and now it's just like Kenjaku and then everyone else. So I think that Megami is gonna step up to fill those shoes. And then what else? This also leads me on to, like, I don't know if you want to talk about it on the podcast, but like, who will kill Kenjaku?
If you want to talk about like your thoughts on it, I'm gonna leave my thoughts out, because we also talked about we want to start making like scripted videos, and I have an idea for what Nick just said about my views on it. Yeah. And I'm working on a script for it, but if you want to talk about it, Nick, go for it.
I still haven't picked a specific candidate that will do it. But people were talking about, at least on the subreddit, people thought that it'd be really fitting for Maki to kill Kenjaku, because Maki is like the embodiment of what Yuki believed in and like separating from curse energy.
Okay.
But like, honestly, no way is that ever gonna happen. Because it's already been established with like the open domain thing. With like
now
the barrier
she's if Kenjaku does the open domain, she's kind of fucked.
Yeah, there's nothing else that she can do. I don't want to like just tear down these people's arguments, but yeah, they think that it's very fitting, and I can kind of see thematically why that is, but also like, it's just kind of weird to have Maki be the one that kills the main villain. Like, to me, it would probably have to be, well, then I'd have to get into who I would think would actually kill him, but yeah, that's just my thoughts for right now about that whole situation.
Yeah, well, okay, my issue with Maki is it's like people said, like, oh, like breaking away from curse energy, that'd be a good like story thing, but like, yeah, Maki's been there since the beginning of the story, but like, she hasn't been, like, she's had her moments, but like, especially when she's like recently, but like, she hasn't been a main side character, in my opinion. She's been more of just like a side character. How do I phrase that? I don't think she's like fodder. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, I'm not saying she's like a bad character. Like, no, she's a great character, really cool character arc.
Which is currently the second strongest
Yeah,
on the protagonist side.
exactly. But like,
Potentially even first, but that's an argument for another day.
I'm not even gonna get into that with you. But yeah. So it's narratively and thematically it could be cool. I should say thematically that would be cool, but narratively I think there's way better options. And just gonna like toot my own horn. I think I have a pretty good idea of how it could happen, and I'll touch on that in my video when I make it.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, Nick's heard like a little bit of it. But
yeah.
So yeah, I think that like I think personally also my thing is like I have my ideas. I want to make the video on it, but I'm like of who would kill Kenjaku? I want to leave that till the end of the series. I want that to be a big surprise. Of like like literally, I love the idea of like it could be Maki, it could be Yuji, it could be Yuta, it could be anyone.
Yeah.
It could be Panda for all I care right now. No, just kidding.
That'd be really funny.
That'd
would
be
really
like
funny.
it would be funny, or like it could be we've seen Geto break free or like regain control for a second.
What people are
Geto
saying.
like killing himself, like Geto killing, like smashing Kenjaku's brain or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be anyone, and everyone should have a theory on it because it's an interesting debate. I just don't think we're gonna see it for a while, personally.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, what is it? There was another thing that people thought that like Gege hinted that like, okay, so this is gonna end in 2023. If it does, cool. But I highly doubt that. At least I don't see that with like, I don't see how you could end this in 50 chapters.
It would get the Bleach treatment and get too
good.
rushed. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
There would be too many loose ends right now. Like, there's no way you could do that. I mean,
Exactly.
you could, but it wouldn't be done right.
Yeah.
It would not give this series the justice it deserves.
Yeah. It would be considered like a really great series that had a really crappy ending.
Yeah. It would literally be like what happened with Bleach. It'll just be like people say it'll be Bleach 2.0. Like it'll whatever.
And that's not going to happen anytime soon because of also like a bunch of like just like with how the manga is doing.
Yeah, the manga's doing well.
Manga second year.
Yeah, the movie just did really well. Season 2 is coming out. They can't end it that
There's
soon.
too much hype and marketing behind this.
And personally, I don't think Gege wants to end it this soon as well. So I'm like, honestly, we should be fine. We could just eat our words, and he could announce tomorrow he's gonna end the series. Just
Indefinite hiatus for the next
4 years.
Year. Yeah,
but
I don't want to go into that.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Sorry.
I think no, you're good. Yeah. So there's a lot that could happen. I mean, this is a perfect segue to going back to what we said about like this is like it's in the door is open. We can't see the other side right now. We have no idea what could. I mean, we have the ideas, but like realistically, in my opinion, we have no idea what could be happening next chapter. Like maybe seeing the group again. Maybe a little bit of this backstory of like Kenjaku and Tengen being friends like hundreds of maybe thousands of years ago or whatever. But like, there's in my opinion, no way. There's almost no way to predict what will happen.
Yeah.
I'll leave my thought at that.
My last big thing is that this was probably one of the coolest ways to end off this year with like the most devastating attack we've seen in JJK.
Because this is the last chapter of the year. This is a great way to end it.
Exactly. It's so fun. It's so good. This reminds me of stuff that I'll talk to you after the podcast with.
Okay.
But yeah, really good chapter. This was a great way to end off Jujutsu Kaisen in 2022, and I can't wait to see what they do next year.
Exactly. All right. Boom. Perfect ending. Let's go. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to episode 12. We appreciate each and every one of you. As we say every episode, feel free to tweet us out. We've been starting to be more active instead of just promoting our new episodes, tweeting out to other people big into the JJK community. But like, feel free to tweet us out with questions. Please do. We'd love to see what people think. and your thoughts.
Yeah.
Maybe we'd love to see you tear into us about what we just said this week. I would love
Yeah.
to see that. I don't take criticism that well, so I would love to see that. But please, especially this new year, rebrand. Like, even though we've only been around for 3 months, new year,
Yeah.
new us. We're gonna get more active. Boom.
Yeah, I think that we have a lot of big plans for next year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, please comment. Please talk to us. One of the best parts about doing these things, making the podcast, is that we wanted to hear what other people had to say. I love stirring up conversation about these series, especially Jujutsu Kaisen. I want to hear other people's ideas because I know that I try to think as much out of the box as I can, but I know that I'm not as much as others. So yeah, please comment. Yeah, and thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking with us for 3 months. It's been crazy that we've been doing this for so long.
I know. Got through a semester of college while podcasting.
I know.
But yeah, thank you so much for listening. We're gonna say it here. Have a happy new year.
Yes.
2023 is coming. Big plans for us. Hopefully, big plans for you listening. Just have a great new year. Enjoy yourselves.
Yes. I agree. Happy New Year. And yeah.